Yes, it's a beautiful Thursday morning on Lagon Radio, your number one gospel radio in Nigeria, powered by the Anglican Diocese of Lagos. And we are broadcasting live from the Diocesan Palace here in Marina. Today, 28th of April, 2022, I welcome you to another episode of the Newspaper Review. Yes, my name is Olumakaiye Ajati. Yes, it's a beautiful morning. Of course, a cold morning. we bless God for the beautiful rain. And I'm not in the studio alone. I have my people in the studio. I have Shegun in the studio. Good morning to you, Shegun.
Good morning. You're welcome.
And good morning to you, Chimizi.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Sandra is not here with us today. Yes, we hope to see her tomorrow, hopefully. So let us go straight into the newspaper that we have for you today. A lot has been happening in Nigeria, and it is our duty to bring it to your hearing. I have here the Guardian newspaper, and on the front page, I have the power sector. Federal government sinks more funds despite low performance. Yes, it's on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. And FEC approves multi-billion naira contract um, for electricity supply. And NERC speaking for discourse and a misplaced priority, says the stakeholders. And repeated grid collapse pushes federal government to revive $2.3 billion power deal. Exports seek involvement of state in discourse, gens cause. I don't really understand this, but banks will take over all discourse, just a matter of time. You get a story on the front page of the Guardian newspaper, and I guess the continuation is on the page two. Fayemi Amosu Uwajoba entry swells APC presidential aspirant. The story is on page two of the Guardian newspaper. And 14 years on, Lagos Airport awaits runway lights to end blackout. Wow, 14 years on. You get that on the business page, page 418 of the Guardian newspaper. And I also have the federal government, the state, local government areas shares 726 billion naira in March. SS crude account stands as $35 million. You get a story on page 3. And on page 4, we have the Senate Regis Terrorism Act outlaws payment of ransom. You get a story on page 4. And Lagos State government has failed me, says man whose school was seized. You get the story on page 20. And again, court adjourns hearing of Kanu's suit against federal government. You get that on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. And on the news page 7, Wike declares Guba aspirant wanted. Okay. And lastly, until the news, you see here on on page 30 again, bandits kill 19 Irigwe natives in Kaduna. Well, a lot of stories on the Guardian newspaper. Just grab a copy and read through.
Yes, I have the Nigerian Tribune newspaper here, and I have this to be the most prominent. Yes, content there. Afenifere advocates government of national unity. Well, it continues on the second page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, and I have those two angry constituents chase Ondo lawmaker out of community. Wow. Well, it is well. It continues on the 14th page of that newspaper. Law to prohibit payment of ransom to kidnappers. Well, I don't well, it is well. Law is I don't think we have any issue with the laws. We have issue with the enforcement of the law sometimes, because if you say people are no longer paying ransom to the kidnappers, how about the police or our security agencies rescue the victims? You understand? So if they are not paying ransom, of course, is there another mayor put in place to rescue those people kidnapped? So I think this calls for our attention. But it is well, whether you have law prohibiting or not prohibiting, God will continue to save our lives in Jesus. It continues on the 11th page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, and I have the State for Education declares, Wajuba, Minister of State for Education, declares for presidency. So it is well. If the father says, buys 100 million naira APC presidential form, says, I won't resign